Bum bum ba-da-da-dum bum ba-da-da-da-da-dum bum ba-da-da-dum bum ba-da-da-dum bum bum ba ba bum ba ba bum ba ba. I had planned to do a different video, but then I switched. All right, I'm gonna try to knock out today pretty fast. Kind of a new topic switch after the others. I had written up this description of how a 60K earner would approach home buying in San Jose a while ago. Wasn't super happy with it, but I'm going to hit the high points now and probably discuss the discuss it in more detail later. So the basic question is, should I buy something in San Jose? Now, me, when I compare should you buy something in San Jose, what I'm going to say is the cheapest possible thing that you might want to buy, because everything is super overpriced here, compared with an apartment that fits within your budget. And, by apartment that fits within your budget, I'm talking about that $800 a month apartment. So what I did was I looked up all the available condos and I sorted by their price. And if they needed major repairs, which represents risk, then I ignored it. And I finally got down to two condos, one that was 320, one that was 310. The commute to where I work for the 310 condo would have been an hour longer per day at least. And so I bumped up the price to 320 because I think that time is very valuable. So one bedroom condo, 777 square feet, within about 15 or 20 minute commute to my current job. And so after you add everything up for this $320,000 condo, I assume that you get a down payment, $64,000, maybe from your parents for free. So the mortgage is only $256,000, but after you add up all the mortgage costs and the tax and the homeowners association cost, insurance cost, and a very modest maintenance cost, you get to $2,000 a month. So it's way outside that $800 budget. No way should someone do this if they're making $60K. Of that $2,000, $1,322 represents the loss amount. So essentially, this is rent that you're paying here, and then $2,000 is just the total payment. So I wonder how I need to look that up again. Anyway. The 1322, because the numbers weren't making any sense to me. It's because I actually did account for like tax write-offs for the insurance and for the property tax. Good. Okay. Yep. Everything I said was true. Fabulous. For two people, this can make more sense. But the reason why I wouldn't do it is because two people can rent a reasonable place. And when you calculate kind of how much you save by purchasing a place compared with renting, you're saving with two people $129 a month per person. Or in other words, if you were renting, the premium that you pay to rent, and again, the place you rent may be not as nice as this condo, I'll accept that, but you can find a reasonable place, is only $129. And from my point of view, when you're in your 20s, when you're early in your career, having the flexibility to move quickly and not deal with house issues because you own it, and being able to delegate those to a landlord is worth $130 a month. So I would pay the $130 a month just because I think that you'll have better job opportunities by doing that. Second issue is that in order to sell this place at break even or at a profit, you need to stay in it for at least 5 or 10 years. Over the course of 5 or 10 years, the interest payment, which is just rent that's going to a bank, is going to go from $853 to $672. So after 10 years of paying, you're still paying $672
to a bank every month. It's not that great of a savings. If you only pay 10 years on a 30-year mortgage, I forgot to mention that this is going to be a 30-year mortgage, fixed rate, and I think I assumed a 4% interest rate, I want to say. So it's a very standard fixed rate mortgage, the kind that almost everybody gets. Yeah, so that's the bottom line, is even if you can technically afford it, according to the income numbers, I wouldn't do it. Another reason I wouldn't do it is because it represents this $320,000. It represents a huge chunk of your net worth early in your life, making those kinds of salary numbers in Silicon Valley. So you're way too balanced in the volatile Silicon Valley real estate market. You're way too biased. Let's see, I say imbalanced. Anyway, it's too much of your net worth. And I'd rather have your net worth in a diversity of stocks, index funds, that kind of thing. But the overriding factor, again, is the flexibility to move, get a job, get a 40% raise. I think that's a very valuable thing. You don't want to be stuck attached to this property and be tempted to sell it after 3 years. I could have put a graph here. Home prices are at historical highs now. Home prices are at historical highs, even compared with like a linear interpolation of Bay Area housing appreciation. So it's very likely, if you buy now, that in the long run it wasn't that great of a deal. It's likely that the prices are going to drop and go closer to the long-term kind of average growth rate. Yep. And then I just put in here, you should never buy a home with someone unless you are married to them. So, yeah, when I talk about two people buying a home, even potentially, they would need to be married. Legally speaking, it's a nightmare if you buy a home with someone and you're not married. So don't do that. You don't want to deal with the issues if the other person, if you break up and the other person decides not to pay for the mortgage. So yeah, I'll go into this more detail, but bottom line is, my opinion, don't do it. It's too expensive. And based on most of the normal kind of income ranges here, it's too expensive. Even if you had like $500,000 where you could just buy it for cash, I still think there's probably better things you could do with that $500,000 for your long-term goals. And in fact, once you reach around $500,000, the investment income that will throw off a lot of times will help you, could cover your rent anyway. And so it's less important at that point to even own any property at all. All right, so next thing I wanted to briefly talk about is adjustable rate mortgages. Do not get one. Interest rates are near historic lows, and you could see your payment go from, $1,200 to $1,700 with an adjustable rate mortgage. And of course, if interest rates go up, which they are likely to do because we're at historic lows, your payment will go up. So don't mess with those. Just get a fix. Even if the adjustable rate mortgage is cheaper for the first X many years, 5 years, whatever it is, don't mess with it. Just get a fixed rate mortgage. It'll be fine. Inflation will help you over time. Fixed rate mortgages are bad. Okay, that's going to be the end of this video. Hope it was helpful. And I love housing, so I'll definitely have a more complete video later. But this is my position right now, as of the 10th of January, 2018. Okay. Goodbye.